What's up, SALT community? I'm here with Brad Zimmerman, a SALT vet and a pro presenter, just genius. So, Brad, can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing here at SALT and what you're teaching on?
Yeah, so this year I'm teaching a class on ProPresenter. I do a lot of the training materials for Renewed Vision about those. And so we're going to talk about how you can kind of leverage themes and screens to make your presentations look the way that you want them to
Mm,
and to look amazing and to function the way that you want them to across all sorts of different
mm,
screens. Instead of just focusing on that one screen, what does it look like online, in person, on an LED wall, on a lobby screen? How can you make it look the way you want on all those places? And then the thing that the other class that I'm doing is on how to streamline your design with AI. And AI for me was one of those things that last year when I showed up to SALT, on my way home, I was on a flight and I was sitting next to, for lack of a better term, a crypto bro.
okay.
And so this guy was he was one of those guys who was way into crypto. He
Mhm,
was way into NFTs, and
mm,
he thought VR was the future
yeah.
of media. And he was a very future focused person, and we were having conversations. I didn't really agree with a lot of what he had to say, but at the end of it, I like later on, I realized we had this super future looking conversation, and AI never came up,
Hmm,
and that was only a year ago.
yeah.
And now since then, now the majority of what I do with design has AI embedded in it in some way,
Mm,
whether it's a video, whether it's a graphic project, whether it's copywriting or emails or social media, whatever it is. And so it's just crazy how fast from a year ago not doing any AI to
mhm.
this year feeling like that's all I focus on and
Yeah.
do. And so that's quite the wild like turn of events. And so I'm really excited to be able to talk about that and to help people maybe get jump started into an AI
Mhm,
journey, because it's right now is the perfect time to learn something new,
mhm.
because AI can help you learn new things that were maybe out of reach, or it's like I'm going to Google 15 different
Yeah.
websites and watch 30 YouTube videos and I still don't know if that's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
And now you can just say like, hey, I want to learn this thing, can you help me learn it? And they can walk it like, that didn't work, what do I need to
Mm,
fix? And like you have kind of this invisible partner who's helping walk you through learning new things, and it's pretty amazing and can help you generate
mhm,
content, which is pretty
yeah.
awesome. So
That's awesome. That's very cool. That's AI has already presented itself as kind of something that's going to be coming up a lot, and I think it's almost unavoidable,
yeah,
because it's in all the, like you said, it's in every single design software now.
yep.
Everyone's using it. So with that in mind, with how much it is getting used, how do you think, with the ethics side of things, being, honest about whether or not you made it, how do you think the church can kind of take the lead on that?
Yeah, so I think culturally, unfortunately, there needs to be an understanding that AI is a calculator and not a robot overlord,
Mm,
and that it's just a new tool that can be used. It's not necessarily a fictitious computer that's going to steal your job and make it so you're like homeless, you
mm,
know.
mhm,
And I think that's what a lot of people picture, is that it's just going to totally change everything, and it's like it will, but at the end of the day, it's still a calculator. It's
mhm,
still just a tool that we can work with. It's not
mhm,
something that's doing it for us. It's something that we're doing a job with.
mhm,
And so I think in the church world, like, I don't think we should be scared of it. And I think we need to shepherd people through it. I think often in the past, the church got really scared. Big C church got really scared of things.
mhm.
And then it was like, we're going to be anti that. We are going to be against that,
Yeah.
instead of saying, like, let's understand it and help our people understand it so that they're not scared of it. They understand the good and the bad, because there will be bad.
Mhm.
With any technology, unfortunately, there can be, it's the
Right.
person who's using it, you know?
Mhm.
And so I think that's the big part. And that's honestly why I started learning about it, is
Mhm.
because I wanted to be able to, with the staff team that I'm on, with my friends, with my
Mhm.
family, with my kids, to be able to walk them through this huge shift in the way, I don't know, I'm kind of seeing it as like this is a new way that computers work,
Mm.
you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah.
It's even less than like this is just an add-on or a new like inserted thing. Like
Right.
this is going to change the way that computing is done in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. So for me, it was just wanting to be able to shepherd people
Mhm.
through that for the people who don't have the time to learn it on their
Yeah.
own.
Very cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So you've been to Salt a few times. We are just talking
Yeah.
that you've only missed maybe 3 or 4 of
Yeah.
the 10 years, which is a majority for
Yeah.
the math whizzes out there.
Yeah.
But what is it that keeps you coming back and teaching and being a part of this community?
Well, Luke asking me and being cool with me being here is a big one. So thanks, Luke, for inviting me. But man, I just love helping resource the local church.
Mm,
I think the local church is the hope for the world, and
mm,
it is the hands and feet of Jesus. And I think that without the people, the church, um, the Great Commission and the Great Commandment can't
mhm,
happen.
mm,
And so it's not an organization, it's not just a certain paid person.
mhm,
And so we're helping lead and guide the church to be able to fulfill those. And I just want to be a part of that.
mm,
And so I just love helping people, having those light bulb moments of like, oh, I get it, I can
mhm.
do it. That's how that works, and all that sort of stuff. So, I mean, even I think one of the early on SALT, I was teaching about live streaming, like
Mm,
10 years ago.
yeah.
And it's like now live streaming is just this normal thing that
Yeah.
everybody does. And, thanks to the pandemic. And so it's just been cool to see how that's changed over
Mhm.
time, but I just love being a part of it.
With kind of your experience in the church and live stream and kind of the cutting edge of
Sure.
technology, something that I know Luke is passionate about, you're passionate about, is not only looking to the past and what has happened and what's happening now, but looking to the future for technology, the church, the community
Yeah.
of that. What's kind of your thought of what is exciting that's coming down the pike? And even thinking about that, what's maybe your prescription for people for how they should anticipate and prepare for those things?
I think, and I'm still brainstorming this, and I am still like thinking on this. So I
Mhm.
don't even know if this is, yeah. But I see a huge, I see a huge divide in our thinking of how we think about our physical life,
Mm,
our spiritual life, and our digital life.
mm,
And I think that we need to understand that those are all our life. And we can't divvy those out and say, like, I can be one person digitally, I can be one person spiritually, and I can be another person
mm,
physically when I'm present with different groups of people.
mm.
And I think, like, growing up in youth group, that would be talked about all the time about how, like, what kind of person are you when you're
Mm.
with the cool kids at
Right.
school versus what kind of kid are you at youth group,
Right.
And we would talk about how we could kind of divide our lives up. But I think a lot of followers of Jesus have divided their physical and digital lives up
Mhm,
and don't see those as the same thing.
mhm,
And I think if we could get followers of Jesus to live their digital lives the way that they maybe proclaim,
mm,
but actually live that out in a
mhm,
digital way, um, we would see a huge shift
mm,
in the perception of followers of Jesus, and we would see a huge shift in people wanting and being curious
mm,
about Jesus.
mhm.
Because I think we're seeing like a huge dive in people even being curious about the church.
Yeah.
We went from like, that's old and stodgy to, wow, you got lights and cool stuff. And that like brought a lot of people in the church. But now
Yeah.
it's like, well, yeah, there's a ton of churches that have lights and cool stuff, but that's
Mhm,
not enough.
mm,
And I hear you talking one way on social media, and then you're a
mm,
different way in person,
mhm.
and helping followers of Jesus see that that is all one combined thing.
Yeah.
I think is something that needs to be focused on, that
Mhm,
I think has been ignored for too
mm.
long.
I think you're right on point there for sure.
So yeah, that's that's what I'm thinking about for the future.
Mhm,
So it's less about a technology, and it's more about like, how do I be uh, how do I live out what it is to be a follower of Jesus in any area of my
mm,
life, in any way. So when a crazy political thing happens, or a crazy world event happens, or just somebody says something
mm,
online, how do I respond as a follower of Jesus? How do I
mhm,
engage in that as a follower of Jesus online?
mhm,
And I think there's a pretty big divide there,
mhm,
and a pretty big lack of understanding of what that
mhm.
looks like.
I love that. I think so many people, they see the production world or what we do in church with the lights and the stuff, and if I mean what we talk about a lot, what Luke talks about a lot, and what him and I've had conversations about is if the people aren't genuinely walking out their faith and stuff, you can light it up all day long and run all
Yeah.
the cool sounds
Yeah.
and tech, and it won't mean anything.
Yep.
I mean, that's what Salt's about. It's like we're only emphasizing the gospel. And if you're not living out the gospel, there's nothing to put salt on.
Yeah,
So,
that's so good. That's
very
so
cool.
good.
Okay. If someone wants to connect with you, they want to get resource with Church Media Drop, what is the best way to do that?
Yeah, so I years back I started a site where I was just teaching people about stuff, and I was kind of giving some things away here and there. And I morphed that site into a full-on free marketplace of media. And so you can head over to churchmediadrop.com and you can get free motion backgrounds and series art and event graphics and audio files and bumper videos and anything that you would need. And most of it's editable, so you can go in and make it your own. And so, yeah, that's the best place to go. And the cool thing is it's not just me. It is churches and ministries and individuals from around the world who are helping resource the local church. Because there's a lot of people who just aren't designers. And even with AI, they still probably won't be a great designer. But they know what they like, and they might not have the resources either to pay for it or to be able to do it on their own. And so Church Media Drop exists to help those people have quality media to help people hear the good news of Jesus.
That's awesome. I love that. What a cool resource. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brad, for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm looking forward to seeing your sessions later tomorrow.
Yeah, it should be good.
Have a good one.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.